Good morning. We're just getting some breaking news for you this morning, looking through the wires, and it's linked to our main story, the opening of the Olympics. The French rail network, SNCF, says it's been hit by a series of malicious acts hours before the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics.
Now, the firm has said that one factor in the attack was aimed at paralysing the high-speed network. We're getting various reports. There's been a report from Eurostar now, which has advised people not to travel today after those attacks. And, of course, it is the opening ceremony of the Olympics today, the Olympic Games beginning. Eurostar has said in a statement that journey times to Paris could be an hour and a half longer because trains need diverting and several trains have been cancelled.
Yes, this story emerging just in the last half hour. And looking at some of the reports from our correspondent, Hugh Schofield, who's in Paris, saying SNCF has been a victim overnight of a massive attack aimed at paralysing the whole rail network. What is emerging is that fires were started at 3 points on TGV lines, which are running west, north and east of Paris. They say a fourth arson attack on the line running to Lyon, and the Mediterranean was foiled. So what you can see, if you can imagine a map of France, is all the networks leading north, south, east and west from Paris have been affected.
Let's talk to our France correspondent, Hugh Schofield. Hugh, this is being described as coordinated acts of malice. What more can you tell us?
It's a very big deal, this. A million or nearly a million passengers are affected. There's chaos at Paris railway stations now. Basically, the TGV, the vaunted high-speed network, is down across large parts of the country. That's the bit going west to Brittany, going north to us, to Britain, you know, the Eurostar and points north of Paris, and also going east to Strasbourg. There were clearly coordinated arson attacks on junction boxes, remote locations on the rail network overnight. There's no doubt in investigators' minds or the government's minds that it's linked to the Olympic Games. There's no doubt that it's criminal. There's no doubt that it was coordinated. The intention was to cause massive disruption to the rail network on the eve of this massive day for France and the Olympics. And it succeeded to the extent that, you know, there is now, you know, real serious disruption, and people are being told don't go to the stations if you're due to catch one of these TGV trains. You won't get on it because for now there are no trains, and even when they start running again, they'll be running with a lot of delays, which will mean that there have to be cancellations too. So no, this is a serious thing which won't affect the opening ceremony, but which is being, you know, which is causing massive disruption, and for Britons too on the Eurostar.
Yes, Hugh, just on that, the Eurostar issue, just looking at some of the statements coming out from Eurostar right now, they are saying on their statement, we advise you passengers to postpone your trip as your train is likely to be delayed due to infrastructure issues. And clearly it was likely to have been a very, very busy time for them. They say that because of coordinated attacks of malice in France, affecting the high-speed line between Paris and Lille, all high-speed trains are going to and from Paris are being diverted via the classic line today. And Hugh, maybe you can tell us a little bit more. I mean, clearly there would have been a huge security operation in and around Paris itself, but this is something that's affecting people who are coming from some distance away.
It's affecting loads of people because it's not just the Olympics starting today, it's also the start of people's holidays. You know, so loads of people from Paris are leaving to go to the south to go on their holidays. Even in a non-Olympic year, this Friday would have been a huge day of travel, people coming, people going. So yes, but then multiply that by the Olympics effect and the fact that so many people from across the country and Britain and neighbouring countries will be coming to France this weekend for either the opening ceremony or to have a weekend of sports and attend some competitions and so on. And you have an absolute disastrous effect. So yeah, whoever is the mastermind of this has certainly calculated well. And yes, the security operation around Paris is massive and, you know, saturation. But the TGV network relies on miles and miles and miles and miles of electric cabling out in the middle of the countryside. And if you know your way around, and clearly there are people who do, you can find the weak points and that carry out these acts of sabotage.
Any indication, Hugh, from the authorities about how they're going to tackle this? Because the opening ceremony is tonight and there are severe travel delays. I mean, Eurostar is already saying to its customers, you can cancel free of charge, you can be refunded, you can modify your journey free of charge. They're kind of looking ahead thinking, actually, this is a problem. This is a long-term, in terms of hours, not easily solvable problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's today is going to be a write-off, I think. They're saying that they will have this resolved by Monday. Teams are going out to these locations to repair the replace the electrical infrastructure which has been destroyed, and then test it. But that's not going to happen overnight. I mean, a lot of damage has been done, and because of the security issue, the safety issue, you can't just simply bung in a new fuse box and leave it. I mean, it has to be tested and tried, and so they're not expecting this to be operating properly till Monday. Before then, there will be a limited return, I think, to services, because the trains can be diverted onto remember the TGV trains run on TGV lines. If they can run on other lines too, but at that point they go much slower, and that means fewer trains. That means cancellations. So there will be some services over the weekend, but they'll be slower and there'll be cancellations. And given that, I imagine bookings were complete for this weekend, that means some people won't be able to travel. So a lot of people, they're talking in France about 800,000 people having disrupted weekends now, and add to that the people from Britain who want to come over for this first weekend of the holidays to enjoy the Olympics. You've got to get an awful lot of very angry and upset people around Europe today.
Hugh, for the moment, thank you very much. Let's just bring you right up to date with breaking story we're hearing this morning. This is in connection with the French railway operator SNCF saying that high-speed TGV lines to Paris have been vandalised. It's specifically saying there are 3 places that are leading to serious disruption. Fires, we understand, started at 3 points on TGV lines running west, north and east of Paris. We understand a 4th attack on the line running south to Lyon in the Mediterranean was foiled, but it is already having major effects on the rail network in and around the whole of France.
And we understand repairs won't be completed until after the weekend, as Hugh was saying. No claim of responsibility has been made as of yet, but the Olympic Games, the opening ceremony, of course, today, and the Olympic Games underway. Eurostar, obviously the rail operator, has advised people not to travel today after those attacks on the rail lines. It said that journey times to Paris could be an hour and a half longer. Several trains have been cancelled, and it is saying that customers are being informed via email or text. They can cancel free of charge or be refunded or modify their journey free of charge as well. So they're saying that all high-speed trains going in and out of Paris are being diverted today.
We'll keep you right up to date, of course, with that story. And the focus very much on Paris. There